My parents didn't know I was paying their mortgage for 6 years. They kicked me out to give my room to my sister's boyfriend. I stopped the payments immediately. The foreclosure notice arrived 3 weeks later. The foreclosure notice was taped to the front door when I drove by on my lunch break. Big yellow envelope, official looking, impossible to miss. Even from the street, I was sitting in my car, 3 houses down, eating a sandwich from Panera when I saw my mother rip it off the door and stare at it like it had personally insulted her. Her face went from confusion to shock to something that looked like panic, all in the span of maybe 15 seconds. She turned toward the house. I watched her mouth move, probably screaming for my father. The door slammed shut behind her. I took another bite of my sandwich and felt absolutely nothing except a small, petty satisfaction that tasted better than the turkey and Swiss. 3 weeks. That's how long it had taken for their carefully constructed reality to come crashing down. 3 weeks since they told me to pack my things and get out because Stephanie's boyfriend needed a place to stay and my childhood bedroom was just sitting there empty, most of the time anyway. I'd been working as a senior financial analyst at Deloitte in downtown Chicago for 8 years when this all started. Good job, solid salary, the kind of career my parents used to brag about to their friends at church before they decided I was disposable. I was 26 when I took over. Their mortgage payments, 32 now. And in those 6 years, I'd transferred exactly $287,400 from my Chase checking account to a mortgage servicer called Caliber Home Loans. Never missed a payment, never been late. The account was in my father's name, Roger Brennan, but I'd set up the automatic payment through my online banking after he had what he called a temporary cash flow issue. Back in 2018, temporary turned into permanent. Cash flow issue turned into complete financial incompetence, masked by pride and lies. But I'd handled it quietly, efficiently, the way I handled everything in my family. Be the good daughter. Don't make waves. Keep the peace. Make sure everyone else is comfortable while you work 60-hour weeks and live in a studio apartment because you're spending $4,200 a month keeping your parents' 4-bedroom colonial out of foreclosure. My sister Stephanie had always been the favorite, younger by 4 years, prettier in that effortless way. That required no effort because she'd never had to work for anything in her life. Married once at 23, divorced by 25, with no job prospects and a spending problem. That made my mother cluck, sympathetically instead of critically. When Stephanie started dating someone new in March, my parents treated it like the second coming. The boyfriend was 29, worked in sales for a medical device company, drove a Lexus he couldn't actually afford, had the kind of charm that worked on people who didn't look too closely. My mother loved him immediately. My father approved in that gruff, masculine way. That meant they'd bonded over football and beer. Stephanie brought him to Sunday dinner every week, and I watched from across the table as they fawned over him. Well, I might as well have been furniture. The conversation that ended everything happened on a Sunday in late September. I'd driven to their house in Naperville for dinner, same as I did every week, brought wine that nobody thanked me for, and sat down at the table I'd bought them 3 Christmases ago. My father cleared his throat halfway through the pot roast, the signal that he had something important to say. Rebecca, your mother and I have been talking. I looked up from my plate. My mother was smiling, that smile. Stephanie and her boyfriend are getting serious. They want to move in together, start building a future. I waited, fork suspended. That's nice, I said carefully. My father continued. The thing is, they can't afford rent in the city right now. Market's crazy. So we thought, you've got that apartment downtown. You're barely here anyway, and your old room is just sitting empty. My stomach dropped. I knew where this was going. We'd like you to move out so he can move in. The words hung there. Move out of my childhood home, the home I'd been paying the mortgage on for 6 years, so my unemployed sister and her boyfriend could live rent-free. I should have said something right then. Should have told them the truth, thrown it in their faces, made them understand what they were asking. Instead, I heard myself say, how long is temporarily? My mother reached over, patted my hand like I was a child. Just a few months, 6 at the most. You're so independent, Rebecca. You'll be fine. And this is really important for Stephanie. I pulled my hand back. When do you want me out? My father looked relieved that I wasn't arguing. End of the month? That gives you 2 weeks. I nodded slowly, calculating. 2 weeks to find a new place, pack my things, disappear from their lives without making a fuss. Okay, I said quietly. My mother beamed. I knew you'd understand. You've always been so reasonable. I finished my pot roast and left before dessert, drove back to my studio apartment and sat on my couch, staring at my phone for 3 hours. At 11:34 p.m., I logged into my Chase banking app and navigated to automatic payments. Full story is linked below or on my channel.